Welcome back to my team. Yes, 24 hours after saying the series was on hold, we're back already that quickly, and it's insane that I'm even saying that. Now, really quickly, I want to say a big shout out to Derpish on a race department. He came up with a patch of sorts, a mod to fix the issue, which seems to be actually a common theme across, not just my own save, but also other people's save. So if you have F1 22 on PC and you want to fix the same issue that I've had in terms of not being able to access your My Team career, click the link down below and check out the mod and try it out, and it might fix your issues like it did for me. So I want to mention one thing, a full disclaimer: if you use the mod, be careful, things could go wrong in the future. So just use it and know that you're taking a risk. Eventually, when this hotfix patch actually drops at the end of this week, there might be trouble, but for now, we can play the game. So here we are then, looking at the weather forecast, and this weekend we have no rain for Silverstone. We have also an upgrade on the car for the chassis, for the engine cover, and that's going to help us out in weight reduction. And we're still top of the pile in terms of the development chart, so things are looking very good so far. You can see we've had a third place, a DNF, and a third place, so hopefully that trend doesn't continue here in this race, because I don't really want a DNF in my home Grand Prix. We have two more minor upgrades on the way in time hopefully for the next race at Austria, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, as you can see, this is how the season's looking so far, and both myself and Nico Hulkenberg in the top four, Leclerc with a healthy lead over Verstappen, who had a bit of a poor race last time out. Nonetheless, we got through Friday practice and we got a bunch of discounts, which of course we'll definitely look into at the end of this episode, and we gained a bit of a claim. And yeah, we're now going to move into the FP1 results. Now, as you can see, P14, P16 for us. Hulkenberg, albeit on the hard tyre, we was on mediums. I do feel like, obviously, if we put the softs on, there's more pace to find. But yeah, here we are then. It's time for qualifying at Silverstone, my home race and the team's home race, of course. So I'm eager to perform and have a decent weekend. And yeah, we'll see what happens at the end of it as we get all our gear on and we get ready for Q1, the first part of qualifying. So joining the action then on a set of soft tyres, and we're going to see what our first bank lap is. Currently, it's been a pretty poor lap, I'd say. There's been a lot of small errors, little corrections here and there. The car feels quite a bit on edge. I've gone for a very low downforce, and that is going to mean that we're going to be very poor in the corners, but hopefully very strong, even stronger than what we already are in the straights. Up to the line though, 127.6 is our first timed lap, and that gives us P6, which isn't too bad to be fair. I had just enough fuel left, so I pushed on for a second push lap after a cool down lap, making our way through the old turn 1 at Cops. We find a bit of time, but we do also run a bit wide and invalidate, so that's going to be the end of our second attempt. And it was pretty marginal in terms of improvement. Various times across the lap I was up and then down. Overall, I reckon that's about a tenth, in it, maybe a bit more than that, but still. P12 for now. As we go back to the garage, you can see Sonoda in P16 is 2 tenths behind, but Schumacher in P17 is 4 tenths behind. So it's a pretty healthy margin. So I'm going to take a chance here, and yet again, we're going to try and save a set of tyres and not go out. And luckily for us, it worked out absolutely fine. Hulkenberg in P8, we finish in P12. And yeah, Verstappen, Perez setting the pace, signs up there as well. A pretty spread out grid, but for us, we're into Q2 and that's what matters, and we've saved a set of tyres in the process. So yeah, Q1 done. We're now going to move into Q2 and we're going to see if we can improve as we make our way. Currently at the end of our first push lap down the hanger straight, DRS wide open as you see Perez there go quickest and setting a new benchmark and pretty much moving the goalposts as the AI really step up their pace in this session. Making our way into the final chicane, and we was in the mid-27s in Q1, so that's kind of our benchmark. Up to the line, first lap in Q2 is a 27.0, which is much better. We go P7, less than a tenth behind Norris and just over a tenth behind Hulkenberg. Eventually though, others did improve, so we're P9. Verstappen and Russell behind, they're most likely going to be faster than us, so we're looking at P11 right now, so we have to commit to another lap and try to improve. So here we are, making our way flat out through turn 1 and turn number 2. Hard on the brakes into turn 3, fourth gear corner through here, and then you can use third, but I keep it in fourth through turn 4. Important to a short shift to 5th to get the drive and the traction out of here as you head on to the Wellington Straight. Up by 1/4 of a tenth in the first sector as we break at the 50 into Brooklands, pick up a late second apex and try to open up Lovefield as much as you can. Try and stay a bit tighter than I did through here. Luckily we do get a very good exit and you get a decent drive using all the runoff curb. And now down the old pit complex, old pit straight, approaching Cops Corner as the checkered flag drops at the 50. Downshift, carry the speed in 7th, and that is a very nice Cops into Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel now. A little bit wide through the second apex, which compromises my line, and I have to go in a bit tight into the left of Beckett's. So we do lose a little bit through the S's. Nonetheless, we're about 3/4 of a tenth up as Charles Leclerc goes quickest. We're now P11 as Verstappen moves up the order. So we're in the drop zone now, making our way into the final chicane, breaking at the white line, down to 4th, currently P12 as we've lost another place. And you can see we're improving by about a tenth as we head up to the line. Is it going to be enough? The answer is no, it isn't. And it's P12 for us, and we're out in Q1. Not ideal, but it is what it is. Either way, that is it for the first part of qualifying. And one thing I want to mention is you may have seen some Pirelli sponsors with the whole game bug issues glitch. Some of the mods have bugged out, so I should have them fixed for the race, if not for the next episode. But yeah, there we go, guys. That is it for qualifying here at Silverstone. And P12, not ideal, but similar to Spain, to be fair. Same qualifying. We've had very consistent and identical qualifying so far. We had 2 P7s in the first 2 races and now 2 P12s. Hopefully, the race pace is stronger. I feel like it will be. We're 9 tenths off Verstappen right now, only 2 tenths off our teammates. So it does feel like also our car's lacking a bit of pace compared to other races, but even Hulkenberg is down the order. But nonetheless, we're going to move into the race and we're going to see if we can try and turn this one around.
We return once again then to the home of British motorsport and the birthplace of the Formula One World Championship. It's race day here at Silverstone and it's time for the British Grand Prix. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of Silverstone Circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula One. It's been reinvented over the years with Turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, but the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid we have: Sainz, Perez, Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Russell, Hulkenberg, Fernando Alonso, Ocon and Daniel Ricciardo, Norris, Martinez, Kevin Magnussen and Gasly, Joe, Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher and Sebastian Vettel, Stroll, Latifi, Bottas. They've taken a grid penalty and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today.
Right, let's get to work. It's Silverstone, it's round 4, and we're starting from P12. Hopefully the race goes well, and I'm expecting a similar scenario to Spain. Will it be as good as Spain, where we're fighting for a top 3? I'm not sure, but we'll give it our best shot. So, strategy for this race, we're going to start on the mediums, and then we're going to head onto the hard tyre. Seems like a medium soft is a bit too much of a stretch. But we'll see. We'll judge it on a lap-by-lap basis, because the soft tyre could be an option later on. Fuel-wise, I'm going for 1 lap extra. I'm going to gamble and say that's going to be okay. I mean, it's a lap extra, it should be okay. I don't see why we'd have big issues with that. And yeah, setup-wise, I've made my tyre pressures a little bit higher, just to make sure we have a bit less tyre wear. And also the warm-up is a bit easier. So let's get into it. Leave a like if you're excited for the return of my team, and also subscribe for more. And finally, leave a prediction down below in the comments and edit your comment at the end and see if you're right or wrong. And yeah, let's get into the formation up first off, and then let's get into the action. Well, let's get into it. Let's see how this race goes. Home Grand Prix. But we're going to try and keep the pressure down. Stay cool, stay calm, collected. Treat it like any other race. And hopefully at the end of it, we get some decent points. Going to get a last bit of a burnout going there, just to try and get the rears up to 10. And let's line her up aggressively. And let's see if we get a reward at the end of it. So, sponsors are now up to date. Apologies for them being wrong in qualifying. But let's get into it. Quick 5 lights. A little bit of wheel spin, but a good start though. We managed to drive through the wheel spin and make it work. We're going to get both McLarens and Ocon. Excellent start as we get 3 cars off the line. Going to switch to the outside here to try and look at Hulkenberg, but it's my teammate, so I'm not going to go for an incredibly rash move on Nico. But that is us into P9 already. Excellent start off the line. We've got a decent bit of rear tyre temp. Gasly putting the pressure on. You can see our straight line speed is already very strong. Hulkenberg looking for the move on Alonso. Gasly looking for the move on us as we head through Brooklands and Luffield. I'll stay on board here as hopefully Nico can make some progress and move up the order. He should have the horsepower on Alonso as we're going to see them go side by side to Cops. Alonso, Hulkenberg, contact. Alonso comes off worse and we're going to drive straight past into the S's and make that move. Lovely stuff. So that's a place gain for Hulkenberg and we're up quite a few from P12. So excellent start to this race. Very good first lap. Let's see if we can hopefully keep the progress up. The more cars we clear early on, like in Spain, the more progress we make early, the better our race could go. Alonso fired back on the hard tyre there, but he won't have the pace surely to contend. Although it does look like the Alpines have improved with the upgrades this weekend. They've taken a pretty big step forward. We have a moment out of the final corner, but luckily Alonso doesn't put the pressure on. Right, I'm going to settle down our focus on this race. Important that we try to get past the cars one by one. I think we can definitely clear Hulkenberg and the 2 Mercs. After that, we're looking at a bit of a tall order, but we'll give it a best shot. Track limit warning, just cutting that curve a bit too much. I was trying to open up the line onto the hangar straight. But yeah, DRS will now be enabled. It's currently 2 Ferraris, 2 Red Bulls, 2 Mercs, 2 97 racing cars, and then 2 Alpines. Everybody in a formation order right now. And we've got a yellow flag further back, I believe.
Okay, clear.
Looks to be Esteban Ocon.
Got information on Stroll. They're retiring from the race.
No.
DRS has been enabled this lap. You can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
So I was wrong about that. It's actually Lance Stroll out of the race. Fair enough. Alonso keeping up on the hard tyre. That's interesting. But yeah, DRS now enabled, so we'll see how this DRS train performs. Okay, we've dropped Alonso out of DRS range. And I don't think Nico has DRS. No, he doesn't. Let's see if I can get close enough to pass. Entering a yellow flag zone. Important that we go by. It's gone green. Nonetheless, we go through. We do cost Hulkenberg a little bit of time, but we had to get that done. Let's see if we can try and get back within a second and not lose the DRS on the cars ahead. We'll use a big chunk of battery if we need to, just to stay close to the Mercedes cars. I think we are going to lose DRS now though, unfortunately. We're just not close enough. Yeah, 1.1, didn't quite make it. No DRS yet again through this second zone. Just lacking a little bit of pace in the corners. You can see we get dropped quite badly through the S section. We just can't quite get DRS, which is frustrating. I've now dipped under 10%, so we're on the reserves. Gonna set a personal best on this lap, I believe. Yes, we do. Gap 1.1. I think we might just get it on this lap. But now we're completely out of juice as we get a second track limit warning. Well, there we go, we're now within a second. So let's try and recharge the batteries a little bit if we can. That's going to be really important. Now, DRS range again. Getting dropped through the corners. That AI is still pretty strong under acceleration. Okay, I think I've got myself now comfortably into DRS range. I'm trying to recharge. We're up to 30%. Hulkenberg has dropped Alonso, but can't keep up with me in this race. It does feel like this is one of our weaker races so far in terms of pace. The best I can hope for, I think, is getting these 3 cars ahead of us, and that's about it. Yellow flag. Bottas out. Will that trigger anything? Nope, looks like we're okay. That would have been really interesting because obviously we're at the pit stop phase. So that would give everyone a free pit stop and probably, to be fair, would make the race quite predictable, but looks like nothing's going to come from it. Battery now nearly charged up. We're looking at about 16% per lap if I don't use any. Hamilton finally goes for the move on Perez and does get it done actually. So Hamilton moves up. Now Russell getting involved. Looks like everybody's queuing up to get past the Mexican. So Hamilton's going to get a chance to pull away here.
Okay, the pit window's open, so let's box this lap. Box this lap. Okay, you've been given a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race. Get your head down and let's get it done.
And that's bad news. Really bad news. First one of the season. We'll have to try and fight against that. Anyway, we're battling these three. I think there's a P4 on the table and that's about it. The leaders aren't a million miles away, but they're just a bit too quick. Tyre wear is pretty high. I would like to stretch this to a set of softs, but you can see in the bottom right my tyre indicator has just come on, so that means over 60%. I'll make a decision in a few laps time. I've got some battery to burn. You can see my tyre wear now, 61 left front and 60 on the right front, so we're looking pretty knackered on both front tyres. Here goes Checo again. Runs it in wide. Oh my god. Oh, I held my breath. Hamilton pits. Russell stays out. Right, now this could be the key phase of the race.
Nico's coming in for his stop now.
Hulkenberg into the pits. Leclerc pits. Ferrari have double stacked, which is interesting. I want to try and see if I can get to that soft tyre. I think that's going to give me a chance of trying something different. I don't think overheating is going to be an issue. Tyre wear is the issue this race. We're going into puncture territory, to be fair. I'm going to go for a one lap overcut and go into puncture territory and see if it works. I don't think I'm going to make a soft tyre work. I think it's too late. So I'm going to try and go for the overcut and see if we can find something. Let's take a chance. I'm going to use a lot of battery here. My tyres are absolute mincemeat, but we're going to try and make this work. Only good thing is we won't have any tyre concerns in the second stint, so we can push on. Using all the battery we have. Come on. Only 2 tenths off my personal best, which isn't terrible. Now into the pits. Give everything we've got. Perfect. Penalty could ruin our race, but it is what it is. It's my mistake. Luckily we didn't get a puncture. We've survived. Right. Alonso pits as well, to be fair. Ocon will be pitting on the next lap. Sainz has dropped into our little battle. I don't know why Ferrari have stacked it. They've gone for another Bonotto special. 2.3, excellent stop. Yellow flag on the hangar straight, but it looks pretty good to us, to be fair. I mean, I'm going to be on stone cold tyres, but we've got a pretty healthy gap here. I think it's going to be close with Russell.
Look after these tyres now. You want to finish the race on this compound.
I don't know, so we're out in P4. We've gained the place thanks to, of course, Sainz. Russell behind, 1 second. He won't have DRS on this straight, but he will catch up to us as he's on nice, warm, hard tyres. We'll try and get the temp into these. That yellow flag on the hangar straight has now gone. So there's George, but we're ahead of him. Alonso has also pulled off an overcut as he's into P6 on the medium. So we'll have to watch out for Fernando, but we've now got a chance here to try and open a gap. Tyres are stone cold though. Absolutely no temperature whatsoever. Confident I can stay ahead though, as we have the battery in the straight line speed. It's going to be important that we try to drop George if we can. That's going to really help our race and of course our penalty situation. George closing in, but we're going to close the door in his face. To be fair, Alonso could be our way out of this. If he starts battling with Russell, that could help us break the gap we need to try and at least break the RS and then start to pull away. You can see here we just have the straight line speed, man. We've got the juice without even having DRS. But there we go, we've survived. Tyres are up to temp now, so let's give it some and let's see what we have in the tank. Ocon in the pit lane, so actually, I forgot about that. We're on for a podium. Out of absolutely nothing, out of nowhere. The penalty now is going to be the deciding factor. Ocon also onto mediums. Nice fresh tyre grip, love it. Alonso has now joined in on the action as well. Let's see if we can make something happen here. Oh, Alonso goes through on Russell. Let's see if they keep it going. We've got the 1 second gap though, just. I'll use all my battery on the main straight to try and keep that gap. Alonso's really quick though. He's got that gap down to 8/10 already. It's going to be hard to shake him off, I think. The Alpines look a lot stronger this weekend. I think we've just done enough there to keep Alonso out of DRS. But he gained so much in the mechanical grip. Verstappen 29.0, fastest lap. Going for a personal best. Let's see what kind of pace we're doing. 29.2. Alonso now will have DRS for certain. Now can we keep him behind? We're completely out of battery. Okay, rear wing. DRS offline. Let's make sure we don't get overtaken. So far it's okay. It's pretty comfortable. I'm going to start trying to save a bit of battery if I can though. We've got a 2 second gap to Russell, so we just need to find 1 more second. And we're looking at our top 4. And I'm confident in a few laps time I want to try and have 1 final push to try and drop Alonso. The Alpine's pretty speedy in the straights. Alonso looking for the move up the inside there. I had to just get out of it. So we'll get a warning for that. Not ideal, but it is what it is. Alonso trying to get by now. Alonso again. Up the inside. Not let him have it. We're going to close the door in his face. We match him on the braking. He just loses a bit of time through there. I'm going to try and see if I can drop him out of the DRS range, although it's not likely. We might actually, yeah, we might just get this, to be fair. Okay, I think we've done it. Let's see if I can try and drop him. I've got a little bit of battery charge saved. I'll try and push on this lap and see if maybe Russell can get entertained.
5 laps of fuel remaining.
Maybe those two can have a scrap, who knows. I'm pushing now. I'm going to try and see if this is my opening to get a 3 second gap. Russell is going to have the chance now to battle with Alonso and get back past with DRS. Alonso has no DRS whatsoever. So let's see if we can try and pull away. The tyre levels have also started to kick in. The mediums aren't as fresh as they once were, so things are a lot more level now as the playing field. We're going to hit a personal best. Yes, we do. So let's see. This could be it. There we go. They're both going side by side into Cops. That is perfect. Hopefully they continue it down into Maggots and Beckett's. That would be the ideal scenario for time loss. And look at that. The gap's just going up. They're still going at it. And now we have a 3 second gap to Russell. We could be on for a podium here. We know that AI like to go full power mode in the last 2 laps or so, a lap and a half. So it's not over yet, but they're still going for it. Look at this, they're still battling. This is exactly what I was waiting for, and it has finally arrived. And this is giving us precious time. I'm going to try and see if I can recharge a little bit now that we have a 3 second gap on the battery for the closing stages. Here we go then, last lap of the race. Currently on for a personal best and pushing as hard as I can. We've got the gap we need. Russell has got the better of Alonso. We're going to set a personal best in this last lap just to see what our true pace was compared to Leclerc and Verstappen, as they're also going to set personal best. But Leclerc is going to win again. Verstappen second again, so Leclerc's going to extend his lead in the championship. And this is bad news because these two are still bagging their big points after 4 races, and we need to try and to start to get the points back. So we'll take it, a podium.
Thank you for all your hard work out there. That was a strong drive and a great finish. Well done.
That's a fantastic performance from Ferrari. It hardly looked in doubt. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
And there we go then, results in for Silverstone, and to be fair, it's a bit more surprising and positive than I expected. So, Leclerc with the victory, Verstappen second with the fastest lap. We finish in third, and yet another podium, 2 in a row, with Russell P4, Alonso P5, Alpine's upgrades, bringing them quite a bit forward to be fair, and continuing their progress from the previous save. Hulkenberg though gets P6, so in the end he got the better of Sainz, Perez, Ocon, Hamilton, and brings them a decent points finish considering his pace wasn't quite there this weekend. Ocon P7 ahead of Sainz with that double stack with the Ferrari, Zhou and Tsunoda round out the points, and then missing out the top 10, Magnussen, Albon, Vettel, Perez down in P14 on a 2-stop, Schumacher, Gasly, Latifi, Ricciardo, Lando with a 3-stop, Hamilton with a 4-stop, and then Bottas and Stroll out the race. So Hamilton having an absolute shocker on home soil. We are still 4th in the championship, equal in points with Hulkenberg, and we're both 51 apiece away from Leclerc and 25 away from Verstappen. So yeah, work to do in the championship standings. Russell up to 5th with that points finish. Alonso also moves up, as does Ocon. In the constructors, we're 3rd and comfortably 3rd now. We've got about a 35-point cushion over Mercedes. Up ahead though, Ferrari get a bit of a gap. We're only 9 off Red Bull though, so it's game on in the constructors. Bit of work to do though in the drivers' championship. Now we're going to go ahead and take care of activities before the next race. As you can see, that's fine. There's no real performance upgrades for Hulkenberg to really do, so yeah, that's fine by me. As for upgrades, we have 1,900 points available, so let's go ahead and spend them. Now in the aero side of things, if we go to an available upgrade, you can see we're 3rd best. On the chassis, we get the heat dampers and the engine cover, and we're currently 2nd best in the chassis. So the gap to Red Bull is actually bigger in the chassis than what it is in the aero. So we're going to go ahead and commit to more chassis work. So we will go for a major upgrade for this time, and we'll go for the fuel tank positioning to keep us in check with Red Bull. So what that's going to mean is, you can see we have another minor aero upgrade on the way, which is arriving in a couple of days' time, and then the major one hopefully after the next race. Now we have a durability department event, and it's going to be invest in new tech modifications or stick with the current methods. I think we should go for the high cost and go for the best technology available, to be fair. Now that aside, we have also unlocked another upgrade for the beam wing, so that is now on the car for this weekend's race. I believe it's the Austrian Grand Prix, so round 5, we'll quickly confirm that just to be sure. Yeah, so next race, Austria. Now to be fair, on paper, this should be a good circuit for us. We know about our straight line speed and our power advantage, so we need to try and take full advantage of this event. Of course, Belgium and Monza are also going to be key races for us, along with Jeddah, Bahrain, even Abu Dhabi to be fair, and also Australia with the new layout. So the final few races is going to benefit our car quite a lot. But yeah, overall, that's it guys for today's episode. More upgrades on the way. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more daily F1 content and the return of my team. As always, a massive shout out to the members for supporting the channel. Finally, check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. But guys, cheers for watching, and I'll see all of you in the next episode.